looks like. Yep. I'm hitting it on Instagram. Well. Happy Friday, party people.
Trying new things.
Woo woo. Look who got creative. Season 3. What's up, Instagram? Hello, everybody on Facebook and YouTube. Welcome, YouTube. There is my friend. Hello, Beyond the Steps Season 3 is happening right now. We're so excited to be back. We are getting logged on. We got some new stuff in store for you this season, so stay tuned. Join us. Join the conversation. Hey,
Hi.
girl, hey.
Hey, girl, hey. Y'all have no idea everything we're looking at right now. Wait till I tell you.
Except I got to turn down my volume. At some point, we should do like a behind the scenes so people
We
can
should.
see the madness that this is.
Right.
But, you know,
maybe
we'll
I'll
save
do that on
for
TikTok.
another day. Excuse my hand, everybody. Happy Friday, Melissa. How are ya?
I am wonderful, Bri. How are you?
Good. Life is good, man. Life is good. We got lots going on. We're back, Season 3. So excited. Hello, everybody here on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. We are so excited to be back for Beyond the Steps Season 3. We have spent the last month kind of just thinking about how we can do this bigger and better, and I think we came up with a good format. So we're excited to share that with you today and give you a sneak peek at what to expect this season. Thank you to all of you for joining us. If you're going to watch this back later, make sure you share it with other people in your network because they need to hear this too. This is for you. We're on this journey with everybody. We're right along with you, and we can't wait to introduce you to all the guests we have planned for this season.
So I'm going to go with my first technical difficulty. Wait till y'all hear about what we are doing right now. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, because, we've decided to add a new platform.
Right, exactly. So I don't see us on Facebook.
Oh, I do. On Apollo's?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Let's see.
Hey, anybody on Instagram, can you tell us if you can see us live on Facebook?
You're on Instagram. Can you tell us if we're on Facebook?
I know that sounds funny, but I do show that we are live. Let's see.
I cannot see it like I normally see it, but okay. So today, everyone, is going to be a very conversational little ditty with myself and Bri. We are going to talk about Season 3. We're going to talk about all the things that are happening and all the wonderful new things that are upcoming. And we also want to hear from you about what it is that you want to hear about this season. So we want topics, questions, what's on your mind, what's happened, what would you really just love to unload about this season and download and come up with some solutions. Also, if you have any guests that you know that you would love to see on Beyond the Steps for Season 3, please drop those in the chat as well. We are going to take just a few seconds to see if I can, maybe it could totally be me. Oh, there we are.
No, it's not you. It is me that I had to press an extra button and I didn't. So I will take that on myself and just chalk it up to it's new. Okay? I just didn't press button.
There it is. Now we're on Facebook. Hi, Facebook. Okay, wait a minute. No, Facebook is here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started because I feel like I need to explain to everyone what exactly is happening. How long? Oh, you got some questions popping up there on Instagram.
Hartley's asking the question. Everybody wants to know, how long is the back order? Thank you for asking. We are coming out of back order as we speak. Most of our styles are back in stock. We have a few that we're waiting on. They're actually knitting right now. So hopefully by the beginning of November, barring any unforeseen challenges, we will be completely back in stock just in time for your holiday shopping. Thank you so much for asking, Hartley. We appreciate that so much.
I'm so glad Bri was here to answer that question because I would have been like, I'm not sure, but when you get them, you're going to be so amazed. That would have been my answer.
I'll talk about it in a little bit, but my goodness, you've never had people more excited to get restocked. I can promise you I am right at the top of the mountain.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you guys, so it's season 3. We are back.
Yeah.
It is so very hard to believe that this is the third season of Beyond the Steps. Season 1 started on October 2nd, 2020. It is October 14th, 2022. It is unbelievable. In season 2, we added Instagram. Hi, Instagram. We're so happy to have you. And since then, you've been a wonderful platform for us. We get the most engagement out of our Instagram family. So, we are just, so thankful and grateful for you. But we were like, you know what? We never just sit on our laurels. We just have to keep going and going and
Yep.
going
Make
and
it
going
harder.
and going, making it harder, better,
Better.
and that means that we have now added YouTube. So we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, and we are on YouTube live at this moment using a different platform that you guys might hear a little bit about throughout the season that allows us to broadcast to all of those, with the exception of Instagram, at the same time. So we have a whole other platform that's behind the scenes that we're learning to use. So I say all that to say, we always say, oh, we're going to be crazy going here, going there. We're going to be even crazier trying to figure out what is happening, asking each other questions, going, can you see that? Do you see this? Did you hear that? We're going to be asking you, did you hear that, guys? What do you, what do you think? Can you hear us? But please don't think we're crazy, and please stick with us. Right now, you are helping us make this show even better. And we are just super grateful for you. This season is full of guests that you have seen before, heard from before, asked questions before, and depended on. And it's also going to be a lot of new guests as well, and new topics. And those new topics will also have a broader range, because we're going to focus this podcast on being for everybody. Rooted in dance, of course, because that's both of our backgrounds, rooted in dance, but it goes beyond dance to performance athletics, parents, educators, coaches, everybody. So we want to expand our reach, because the dance community has been great to us, but we all know that everybody can learn from dancers. Everybody needs to learn from dancers.
I mean, they're the toughest athletes in the world. We always say that. It's true. There's been a study on it. It's the number one toughest job in America, I think, in the job rankings that was done recently in the past few months. So it's legit. It's real talk.
Yep. Yep. So we are going to focus this. You're going to hear about things that pertain to performance athletes, teachers, coaches, educators, everyone in a range of areas. So we have not abandoned our dance community. We still love you, but we also want to make sure that everybody gets this very important information that we have, and we can keep everybody safer, happier, healthier, and stronger as they perform and as they compete as athletes. So we want to go ahead and get started and talk about season 3. Looks like all of our technical difficulties are worked out.
Yep, we're good.
So we're ready to move. I want to talk about some of the guests, talking to some friends, hanging out with some friends here on Instagram. I want to talk about some of the guests that I'm so excited to have this season that we already know are coming.
Well, so before you do, let's
Uh-huh.
explain to the people that might be new, that haven't watched this before, the format of the show. Because I think what makes this really special is that, yes, it's a conversation between me and you. And I love that conversation, because, like I said, with just like all of you out there, we are learning too. We're lifelong dancers. We started our careers in dance. I am a co-founder and CEO of Apollo Performance Wear. I'm Bri and Melissa is the founder of Turning Point Dance Creations. She's also a dance educator and a social justice advocate. So we have a lot of experience between the two of us. But now it's kind of led us to create this series called Beyond the Steps that focuses on topics like gender inequity, sex abuse and prevention, psychology, mental health, dance medicine and science, or medicine and science. And every week we pick one question under one of those umbrellas and get really dive deep into that one question. And we bring on a guest expert in that area to join the conversation. So starting next week, you're going to see us, but you're also going to see a guest expert join us on that topic for the week, and we're going to have a conversation. We're going to ask that person questions. You're able to chime in and put your questions in the comments for our guest expert. the goal is that we want to leave these episodes feeling like we've learned something that we can go back to our day to
Mhm.
day and implement changes that create happier, healthier spaces for all of us. That's what we do here Beyond the Steps. It's an educational platform and it is completely free. All we're asking is that you share and contribute. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear your questions and your comments. That's what makes this show interesting and fun and pushes it to the next level. And it makes it, frankly, a little different than anything else out there. So please do share this conversation with people in your communities. And with that, Melissa, who are we going to be having this season? Talk
Yes.
about who's coming back.
Yes. So, who's coming back? One of the people that I am looking forward to having back is Christina Michaels.
Yeah.
They are the founder of Queer Dance Project. They gave us so much valuable information when it came to talking about how we can build affirming spaces for our transgender students, teachers, clients, parents, and they're coming back to speak even more about discrimination that happens against studio owners who are part of the LGBTQIA plus community. So I'm very happy to have Christina back here with us. I think they are coming in January. Can you believe we're already scheduled
January
out
is
to
going to be a
January?
big month.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're scheduled almost halfway
yeah.
through the year
Yeah,
already. So
yeah, which is great. People are hearing about it and they want to come back and they want to share with you and they want to hear your questions and your comments. So, very happy to have Christina coming to be with us in January. I believe January 6th is
well,
the
and
day
what
that
I
Christina's
loved
going to be back.
about Christina is that, when they were on, we really walked away. It's not as hard as you think to implement. They're very simple changes that can be
Hmm.
made to make a whole lot of people feel a whole lot more included and welcome and comfortable and safe. And I mean, who doesn't want that? So I'm
Right.
excited to have Christina back again.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. The other person coming up very, 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 very soon is Kelsey Nelson. Kelsey is an internet
Mind
favorite,
blowing. Yeah. Yeah.
mind blowing educator. I mean, I am glued to her Instagram all the time, looking at the wonderful foundational technique that she is building in her dancers. She was on last season to talk about motivation. When I tell you her dancers are in and they're all in, they are there to try anything, all new things, take risks and learn and push themselves. And I am just a fan of Kelsey Nelson. I just really want to figure out, how are you doing it? What is the key to making teenagers? And we all know what it's like to try to motivate a teenager to do anything, but making them want to take those risks and have that growth mindset. That was one of the things that she talked a lot about the last time she was on the show. She's going to be back with us on November 4th. So we are so happy to welcome Kelsey Nelson back with us to talk about motivating dancers and how to build foundational training to prepare students for their college programs, to prepare students for even their high school dance programs, and really making sure that they have the foundational technique that they need to be successful. I think Bri might, oh no, Bri's going to be doing that show solo.
I
Actually,
am. I
yeah,
am.
Bri's gonna
We're
be
gonna
doing that
miss
show
each other
solo.
for a couple weeks. You're
Yeah,
gone, and then I'm gone the next week. So
right.
yeah,
I
I'm
know.
going to. If anybody is out there, give us a shout out. We're going to the Marching Band of America Grand Nationals in Indianapolis on November
Huge.
9th through the 13th. This is a brand new show that we're doing, and I can't wait to meet all these people. It's supposed to be ginormous. I guess the whole city of Indianapolis is completely shut down, so I'm really excited. So if you're marching band, color guard, whatever, come say hi. We're going to have a booth there. I can't wait to meet you. Let us know if you're going to the BOA Grand Nationals.
Yes, yes, it is huge. I have friends who are going and they are flying and driving and they are so
Yeah,
excited. So
it's
I'm
like my
sure.
whole world has opened up. I had no idea this even existed, but I'm so pumped to
Right,
see it. I can't even
right.
tell you.
Totally, totally. I did color guard for a year.
You did?
I did color guard for a year. Maybe we should have some color guard people
Did you
on.
did you like throw things and catch them? And
Yes,
you
yes,
did. Was it
and
hard? It looks
to-
hard.
totally hard. Busted my lip totally because those are weighted. A lot of people don't know that
Yeah.
the flagpoles are weighted so that they can actually spin. And when one comes down on you,
Well,
it's
yeah,
quite
that'll
heavy.
hurt. That'll
Yeah.
do it.
But the only reason I did it was because they made the dance team be the flag line in the marching band that year. It was a requirement as part of being on the dance team.
Smart requirement.
Right.
Very smart.
Well, it was smart until we had to learn the twirl flags, which is way harder than just saying, here's a flag, twirl it around, which is, I think, what the band director kind of thought that year, that, we can just put a flag in their hand and they'll be, it takes professionals to do that, y'all.
Yeah.
That takes training.
And to like march and walk at the same time. I can't even walk.
Yeah, it was. It was way more than
Big
more
up
than
to all the color guard
right.
Peeps and
Yeah,
guard peeps.
Totally. And along those same lines, this is a whole new world. We talked about open up a whole new world to color guard and band life. We're gonna have Olivia Lynch on the 11th when Bri is up in Indianapolis. But we're gonna have Olivia Lynch on. She is the co-founder of Black Baton Twirlers Network. I had a fascinating conversation with her about the whole world of baton, and I'm like, wow. Have never, but I remember back in the day, I don't know, Bri, if you remember, but baton used to be a category at dance competitions.
Yes. I did not, it was not a big one, but it was. And I am so bummed I'm going to miss this guest because when I saw that she was joining us, I was so excited, and I'm going to miss it. But I can't wait to watch the episode though.
Yeah. It's gonna be great. She's a new guest for us this year. I'm very excited to have Olivia on. We're going to talk about some of the challenges facing twirlers of color and how we can work together to overcome them. So that's part of our outreach there of expanding our network to industries and groups of people that are related to the dance community and have the same type of challenges that the dance community does, but can open our eyes to a whole different group of people and expand our network of friends and allies in this space. So looking forward to having Olivia Lynch on with us on November 11th as well.
Awesome. And so for those just joining, I'm Bri. This is Melissa. This is a kickoff preview for Beyond the Steps Season 3. We're back after 2 seasons. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So welcome to everybody. We are reaching out deeper than we ever have before. We're going deeper as far as our topics and our guests. So Melissa, what are some of the things that you're most excited to talk about this season? We talk about a lot. We do this every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. We cover a lot. And again, this is a range of topics from racism, gender inequity, sex abuse and prevention, psychology, nutrition, medicine and science, the science world, and how these things are affecting performance athletes, as well as coaches, educators, and parents. So if you are any one of those people, this is for you, and it's beyond dance. We are really going beyond dance into, all people, because we really need a lot of this education to create safer, happier, healthier spaces for all of us. We deserve that, and that's the point of this show. So what are you excited to talk about and cover this season?
Well, I'm just gonna go to something that's bugging me right now, and I don't think we found a guest who can talk about it from an expert lens just yet. But if you have one out there, please drop them in the comments. But something that's bugging me is, as I'm a competition director here for a studio, and we're looking at competitions for the spring and wondering what we're going to do nationals wise. If we're going to do nationals, how is this going to work? And we are finding that competitions are sold out in October for competitions regionals that are happening in April, May, March. Nationals that are happening in July are totally sold out. And what competitions seem to be doing is requiring that as studios, we pre-register our students at anywhere from a 20 to 50% entry fee deposit.
Which is hefty. If you've never registered for one of those things before, it is a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
Like,
I mean,
thousands of dollars. Yeah.
Depending upon you. So we are a very small studio here in North Carolina, and we're in the high five figures to get our entries in. But what, as a studio owner, dance studio owner, and maybe even other studios have this problem too, or other performance organizations have this too, is you're in the beginning of your season. You haven't collected a dime from your parents for entry fees at this point. You're paying for, rent, you're paying for costumes, you're paying for choreographers to come in, you're paying for uniforms, you're paying for maintenance and repairs that happen, you're getting ready for the winter. You might be getting ready for your nutcracker or your winter performances. you don't have that type of money to put up here at the beginning of the year before you've even asked parents for any entry fees. And I believe that is just, we talk a lot about inclusion. We focus a lot on racial equity and gender equity, but there's also socioeconomic equity. There's also discrimination, geographic discrimination, socioeconomic discrimination. There are people who don't have access to the capital to be able to do things like that and up and front that money. Where are those organizations supposed to go to give their students a quality competitive experience if they're being shut out at every turn? I would love to talk about accessibility for studios who may be owned by marginalized studio owners from marginalized communities that may not have access to the capital to be able to put upfront money like that are supporting and serving families that might be of income levels that cannot put up money like that up front, that need time to be able to backload those entry fees. I feel like we're getting into a situation where the haves and the have-nots in dance. And if you do not have it, you do not have access to this competitive space. And that just should not be the way it is.
For all the people out there going, well, if you don't have it, you shouldn't be doing something like that. It didn't used to be like this. It wasn't something that we ever had to worry about. And I would say probably just in the last few years. It started when I left the studio that I was at, probably 4 years ago now. It started getting like that, and it's just gotten worse and worse and worse every year, and it's really a problem. Because if you don't have it, it's exponentially bad, right? But even if you do, it's still really tight because you're paying for all of these things up front, and to ask your parents for more money for an event that you're not doing for 10, 11, 12 months, it's really, really hard. So if you're even one of the organizers of these organizations, we'd love to hear from you too and your perspective, because I'm sure from a business standpoint there are reasons why that's happening, but what can we do to compromise and make this accessible for everybody and a little bit easier to swallow. So we look forward to exploring that this season. Melissa, before we go any further, I have to give a big shout out to Dad Delbane. Dad
Yes.
Don. My dad is back, our number one fan. What's up, Dad? Love you. Mwah.
Faithful viewer. Faithful Love it.
When in doubt, we can always count on Dad. So he's on Instagram. What's up, Dad? Okay. So next cute topic. So we've got what else? We've got a couple more that you were really looking forward to.
Yes, and this one is a delicate topic. It's really not delicate. I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. These kids are dancing to music that is way too mature for them. I'm sorry. Big Spender should not be on a 6-year-old.
I know this. I don't think this conversation is ever going to go away. My husband and I were just talking about this morning. We had an event at our kids' school, and they had a DJ. And, there's like first graders out on the track, and the DJ is playing like all these songs that we love. But I'm like, this is probably not good for the first graders. I don't know that this is appropriate.
Exactly.
And, they were just doing a little fundraiser thing at the school. But, when you add the costumes and the choreography and the movement to it, it's
a whole different story. And this is a debate that's in the dance teacher groups a lot. It's a debate that, and not necessarily a debate that we've had on this show just yet, but we've had it mentioned as we've talked about the hypersexualization issues that we have in competitive dance, and how having students dance to music that has a context and content that is not age appropriate is a form of abuse.
We learned that from our friends at YPAD.
Exactly.
They talk about that too. And the kids don't understand it. The parents don't necessarily even understand it. I didn't understand it prior to learning what I've learned. But it definitely is, and it does. There's a lot of scientific evidence that shows that these kids have trauma from these types of things as they get older. And so we really, I think, need to explore that a little bit more. We're going to have some people on that can shed some light on that this season. So hopefully you join us for that.
Yes, absolutely. We've talked a little bit about costuming too, but I want to talk specifically about music because I think that's one that's overlooked. Yeah. A lot of times they'll go, oh, I didn't put them in a 2-piece. Yeah, but you had them dancing to something that was well over in a one piece, but you
can
know,
show some pretty awesome examples too.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
and
Some,
bring in some video evidence.
yeah. So I'm very excited to talk about that. And then, last but not least, I want to definitely get into a conversation about safe gender neutral dressing spaces. Because, you know, we've always had at recitals, at performances, at competitions, the boys' dressing room and the girls' dressing room.
It's a hot button issue, man.
It
I mean,
is.
there's gonna be a lot to say on that one.
Right.
We won't get into it too much today, but there is definitely a lot to say on it. And also going one step further, changing where to change safely, period, at these events,
Right.
because
Exactly. The
you
cafeteria with the
have
big pane windows.
yeah, I mean, I'll never forget being in an auditorium that had very little dressing room space, and dressing in the side hallway where parents were holding up, towels
Mm-hmm.
and blankets. It's just full windows,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really important that we have the space to
Mm-hmm.
accommodate and make sure that these kids are protected.
Right.
So,
And the pipe and drape that blows
yep.
open when when the wind blows, or that someone can very easily pull and look into. That's another issue. And as these competitions are selling out, and dare I say overselling, and they are
Overselling.
creating dressing spaces in hallways and that are publicly accessible, in tents that are outside, that are also publicly accessible. That's something that we need to start to talk about.
And people that can walk in off
Absolutely.
the street that are not, these are free admission. They can walk in
Mm-hmm.
off the street. Nobody knows who they are, what they're there for. A lot of these events are held in hotel ballrooms,
Mm-hmm.
where other guests can go in and out freely. So there's definitely some concerns. And I think, in 2022, as we head into 2023, with the issues of sex abuse that we're seeing in dance and other athletics, I think it's really important to have these conversations now, because the problem is not going away.
Yes. Yes.
So
We have
we
to
are going to
fix it.
do all of that and more this season on Beyond the Steps season 3. We are going hard. One of the things we're adding this season, I want to talk about some of the changes you're going to see with Beyond the Steps this season. We've talked about it a little bit, but we've added YouTube. Uh, we're going to do Facebook, Instagram, and now YouTube. And who knows what else? Maybe you're going to see some LinkedIn. Maybe you're going to see some TikTok at some point. It depends how we're feeling. But for now, YouTube, there's a big shift in long form content. People love listening to long form content, watching podcasts, listening to things, as they're doing their walk, their run, their morning routine. So we have made that jump to YouTube, and we hope you all enjoy it and share it. You're going to be able to watch our full catalog of episodes on YouTube. We're going to have season 1, 2, and 3 full length episodes available on YouTube and playlists, so you can easily access and share. We're continuing our live format, so we're going to be live with you, so you can join in the conversation. You can ask us your questions as they pop into your head. Chime into the comments from our guest expert and us. If you guys want to participate in the conversation, you can put those comments in any of the platforms, and we will be able to engage with you there and get your questions answered on the spot by our guest expert. So please, please, please contribute and put your thoughts in the comments, so that we can have this really important conversation. And what else? Oh, we're going to do a quarterly guest series. So one of the things we pride ourselves on Beyond the Steps is that we go deeper on so many of these topics. But every once in a while, we want to go even further than that, and there's more to say, right? Like, we'll have a guest on where you'll feel like we could have done another hour-long episode with that person. So what we've done is picked one guest to come back once a month for 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
so quarterly. And
Mm-hmm.
Our first one is going to be Jan Dunn from the Bridge Dance Project.
So
We're
excited.
going to highlight the dance, medicine, and science, and how those things apply to performance athletes. We're going to pick her brain about that throughout the course of October, November, and December. So you're going to see Jan a few times in the next few months, and we're
Mm-hmm.
excited to welcome her back. She always is a wealth of knowledge and insight, so we're pumped about that. And last thing, for all the educators and coaches and trainers out there, you're working with children, professional development is so, so important. And I don't think we take time enough to emphasize how
Nope.
important that is, especially season to season, year to year. It's kind of one of those things that always kind of gets pushed to the back burner because we run out of time, and there's always things that seem to be more important to get done.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great free resource for you to share with your educators, your trainers, people on your staff, people who are working with children. These episodes are exactly what they need to be hearing and keeping in mind as your season progresses. Not that it's going to change, everything that they're doing, but when this information is in the back of their head, it just hits different. Things start to look different, and that's when those small changes that make big impacts are made in our studio settings and in our coaching settings. So please don't forget to use this as training materials. They're great reminders for ourselves as we start a new performance season, and they're things that you can easily implement now, again, to make those big changes. So again, we hope you join us this season. We have lots in store. I am Bri. This is Melissa. This is Beyond the Steps Season 3 preview. We are coming live with our first guest next week on, what is it, the 21st at
Yes.
2 p.m. Eastern, every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern, right here on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Soccer Moms. He's harassing me already because I have recently become a soccer mom. And I am ashamed
What?
to
A
admit,
soccer mom?
I am, in full transparency on this show, I will tell you that I do not always practice what I preach. All the advice I have given over the years to my dance parents, I have decided to completely ignore it. And my son calls them my passionate words.
Your passionate words.
He
Okay.
tells me I have passionate words because I am very vocal on the soccer field. And so I think I need this show is what I'm saying. I need this show, and I need the reminders, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. So there.
You've become a soccer mom, and I have become a football mom.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? It's totally different. I'm like, I don't know what to do with this.
I have to tell you, I don't know if it was like another life or what, but I am loving it. I love it.
Really?
Yes.
You love being a soccer mom.
I love it. I don't have the minivan, but I love it.
That is awesome.
I get so excited to go every week. I get so pumped. It's like the highlight.
That is awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I also want to highlight the series with Jan. Can't wait to have Jan on for the first quarter. Second quarter, we're going to have Aisha Upchurch on to talk about Black culture in dance for January, February, March. So we had Aisha in 2020. I know it's going to be so awesome. We had her in 2020, I think, like twice. Didn't get to have her last season, and so excited to have her for a series this season. So tune in January, February, March. Be on the lookout for Aisha's series that's coming up in that quarter.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. She's so great.
Yes. I want to lift up something because we asked people for their topics, things they wanted to talk about, and we're all in the it's so interesting, and it's so interesting to be I like to be a fly on the wall in those dance teacher groups.
I am a fly on the wall.
I am a fly on
teacher groups, and it is just
it's fascinating. It's fascinating. Some things I'm like, and some things I'm like, absolutely. And these are some of the things that were absolutely. Inter-parent conflict. This is one of those absolutely's because I've had it happen plenty of times where parents get into it, either in the studio or even outside the studio. There's assault, physical assault, verbal assault that are happening. And
Girl,
what
there have been people arrested at these events for getting into it with each other.
Yes.
It's not
teachers.
Common. Yep, teachers.
I have,
which cringe.
Like, why?
Why?
Save it for another time. But what are we to do, and how do we handle those safely and in a way that is a good model for our students? I would love to have that conversation because that's come up a few times.
How do we calm the passionate words?
how do we calm the passionate words of our parents and our families, and model good behavior for our students? I'm thinking, a psychologist would be helpful to come on
It's
in
not
that
funny. That was
space.
an
Yeah.
inappropriate time to laugh, but
No, it's
applying it to
we
myself.
need a psychologist to come on for those moments to talk about how we handle that interparent conflict, because we know everybody loves their babies. Everybody loves their babies, and they're going to defend their
Yeah.
babies to the nth degree. But sometimes it gets to be too much, and we have to understand that, as parents and as adults, we as studio owners and directors cannot jump into the conflict. Please do not jump into the conflict.
No, and I think that's what we need to talk about too, is how to diffuse that conflict and move it to a different time and a different place in a safe, structured space so that it's productive. I think so
Right.
often it's emotionally charged, and if we can just figure out how to diffuse that and move it when everybody's had a chance to calm down.
Mm-hmm.
I think the bottom line is we all love these kids, and
Mm-hmm.
we all want what's best for the kids. And I think sometimes you just need space and time for that to become clear. But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
definitely not in a competition or performance setting that should be happening
And I
in
have
any
had it
regard.
happen. It's been absolutely amazing
Yeah,
to see some of the
yeah.
things that have absolutely happened. So I would love to have some help with that. So thank you, DTN, this Dance Teacher Network, for bringing that up. The two-piece costume debate is still out there in those groups as well. Two pieces versus one piece. When is it appropriate to wear a two-piece? If you have a child, this is one that I saw the other day. One of the teachers in the group made a comment that they had 9 students. 8 of the moms and dads were totally happy with a two-piece, and one little girl's mom was like, no way. What do you do in that
I've
situation?
had this happen, but I'm not going to weigh in now. I will talk about it on the episode. I have
And I
had it
mean,
happen.
y'all, some of the things that I saw in there, kick the kid out. Okay, no, I don't think that that's where we should go with it, or have
No.
that one child wear a totally different costume. I'm not sure that's where we could go
Yeah, no,
either.
no.
So I would love to get some input from someone that could talk to us about, what do we do in those situations that makes it a comfortable situation for the parents, the students, and the child, and no one feels isolated
Yep.
in those instances. And then the other thing that I saw in the group, I don't know if when did you have your studio? What age was
I
that for
had
you?
3 different programs. I started one when I was 18 in
Mm-hmm.
Michigan, got that up and running, and then I moved to LA, and then I started one there. So when I was 24,
Mm-hmm.
and then, God, I'm old. And then I stayed there for a while and then moved to Texas and formed that one when I was like 31,
Uh-huh.
32. And um, each time I got progressively better at it, right?
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I was young when I started, and I was good when I started. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like I've learned, I matured so much, and I understood so much more, and found my self confidence as I got older.
Mm-hmm.
But my instincts were really good when I was young.
Mm-hmm. Did you find, like, as a very young studio owner, that there were people who didn't quite have like faith and trust in you as that young of a person?
Um, maybe. But I don't know. I never let that didn't bother me ever.
Mm-hmm.
If it did happen, I rarely noticed it. I was
Mm-hmm.
very focused on what I was doing. That's the thing about me, is like I've always been like I know I'm put my head down and go, and I know what
Mm-hmm.
I do well, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I didn't experience that too much, but I know
Mm-hmm.
that that's a thing.
Yeah, that has been, I've seen that a number of times show up in these groups about studio owners who are 18, 19, 20, 21, and having parents come in and feel like they have some type of authority, parental authority over them.
But I will say this, I think it depends on the personality. Like I had a very strong,
Mm-hmm.
clear direction, and I was not afraid. Like I stood behind that, and I
Mm-hmm.
have a very strong personality.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're somebody that doesn't, I could see how there's room for people to think the door is open, and it's not
Right.
open. You
Right.
got to kick the door
Right.
closed, you
And
know.
yeah, and I'd love to have some conversation around that, because I'm seeing the angst and the anxiety in our youngest studio owners in those groups, talking about how do I manage enroll, because they're new. they're brand new studios.
Yeah.
Clearly, you're 18. You're just out of high school, or you're, a couple of years out of high school.
But that's part of what the journey that they have to learn as a
Mm-hmm.
studio owner, and it's part of the journey. It's part of the job.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's yeah. So it's tough.
Yeah.
I have a lot of thoughts on that one too. So
Yeah. Yeah, that'll
can't
be
wait.
that'll be a good conversation. For those of you who are just joining us, we are previewing season 3 of Beyond the Steps. Please make sure you join us every single Friday at 2 p.m. on now 3 platforms: Facebook, Instagram,
What?
and YouTube. And reshare these episodes. You can find them in a number of different places. We'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later, and also go back and see what's coming, or what we already did, and also stay tuned for what's coming. Bri, I'm sure you have some stuff you want to talk about, or some guests you want to see.
I do. I'm going to run these down real quick because I know we're coming to the end of our time. But it's so I'm excited to we have a couple new guests I'm excited to introduce. Megan Bowen, who's a professional dancer in New York, and she's big on TikTok. And we kind of were introduced to her last year, but she's a professional dancer, but she's an average size, you know what I mean? Like, and she's all about body inclusivity and positivity, and I can't wait to bring her on and for her to share her message. We also have Sarah Balda, who is also in January, who is a nonprofit studio owner. I know there's a lot of nonprofits out there that are like, just nonprofits work a little bit differently. Any nonprofit business, it works a little bit differently, and they have their own set of challenges. And so I'm excited for her to share her insight. She has 2 studios in Florida, and it's very successful, and has operated them for many years, but is really focused on creating those safe, healthy spaces and all the creative ways that she does that. So we're excited to talk with her in January. And then we're having just a focus on mental health. I think that has just been the biggest lesson that I've learned from doing the show, and just the tips and the ways that you can incorporate mental health into your day to day. I'm excited to continue that journey and that conversation with people like Dan Sun, Kristen Dyson, Michelle Lucadou, Ashley Mowry with Healthy Mindset Skills, and Lauren Ritchie, and among others. I know
all coming back next season.
They're all coming back this season. So I think we're going to have some really productive conversations around mental health and positive growth mindset. So I always look forward to those episodes as well. And then, the things I'm excited to tackle, always injury risk management, and formerly injury prevention. We can't really prevent injury, but we can mitigate the risk, right? That's what we like to say. That's the new term. So injury risk management, it's kind of in our heart at Apollo. It's why we started our company. So I love always hearing the new trends that are evolving in injury risk management. I'm excited to learn more about that. Getting clarity on all the organizations out there that are doing work to educate others on safe dance spaces and who to reach out to for what and when. There are so lot of organizations out there, and it's it's great. They're all doing such important, much needed work, but who do we know who to listen to when?
Right.
So I'm right along with all of you, and I want to know what those organizations are, and when should we be reaching out to them individually. And then finally, just something that's always a personal struggle for me in my own life is balance. I've gotten better at it since we've done this show, but just the idea of rest versus performance, or on versus off, and giving yourself that time in that permission to breathe and calm and reset. And you don't always have to be 100% on all the time, and just giving, how do you do that? How do you find that balance, and when is it okay? And when do you push? Because I'm a pusher. So I'm excited to talk about that topic as well.
Awesome. When do you push? I need to be on that show myself.
I'm a pusher. I'm a pusher. I push, and I push myself, and I push everybody else, and so I'm definitely a pusher.
I push until I fall out, which is a problem.
Yeah, and then when I fall out, it's like I really fall out.
Like, there's no more push. So we both need that show. I want to talk about a push, but a good push that we have coming up. We are releasing Beyond the Steps as a podcast, an audio podcast. So once again, we told you we're going to add something else. Why don't we just do it then? We're going to add a podcast. It's going to be available where you get your podcast from. Our release schedule is going to be a little bit different because we know the schedules are a little bit different of our dance teachers and educators, and as well as everybody, performance athletes, coaches. We have seasons. So, during the season, it's very hard to keep up with a weekly schedule or keep up with something on a daily basis or even a bi-weekly basis. So we're going to batch and release our podcast in 3 batches. One right around December, January, when we have a break there. One in the spring, right around March or April. And then also one in the summer, right as we end the season. And we're going to give you a binge-worthy set of episodes on all of the platforms where you can get your podcast. We will give you more information about that as soon as we get details, but we are very, very excited about not only having Beyond the Steps available to you live in video format, but also being able to have it to you in an audio format as a podcast. So please be on the lookout for that.
And just think, if you contribute questions, you ask questions, and you make comments throughout our episode, you'll be on the podcast too.
Right. You'll be famous.
It's another reason for you to join in the conversation and drop your comments and questions in for our weekly guest experts. We want to hear from you. So don't forget to please give us your feedback. Join us. And if there's anything you want to hear about this season, we want to know that too. So again, you can drop those comments in now or message us afterwards, but we're scheduling now and we want to hear all the things that are affecting your day to day so that we can make sure to address those topics and have guests on that can help.
Right. Exactly. And another way to get these episodes and podcasts straight to your inbox is to sign up to get them to your inbox. I'm dropping the link now. It's a short little form. You just give us your name, your email address, and we will drop that in your inbox on a weekly basis so that you can catch up and you don't even have to go searching for it. You can find it there. So we will be very happy to do that. So if you fill out that link, that little form, we will get those to you. You can also DM us on any of our social media platforms. All of both myself and Bri, Turning Point and Apollo are on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. Apollo is at Apollo Performance and Turning Point is at TP Dance Creations. So I finally got rid of that convoluted IG because someone finally gave up my handle. Thank you to whoever it is that gave up TP Dance Creations.
I was noticing that. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yes. Thank you.
Good. Well, thank you to that person because the underscores thing you'll see every episode of season 2. It tripped me up. I don't know. I don't think I ever got it right one time. So yeah, and where can you binge the past season? So this is our 3rd season. We're kicking off our 3rd season. Our first guest is next Friday, every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. But if you missed season 1 or 2 or both, and you want to catch up and see what we're about, you can find the full episodes available at Apollo's website, apolloperformance.com, at Turning Point Dance Creations website, tpdancecreations.com. You can find it at Apollo's YouTube, just Apollo Performance, APOLLA, instead of an O, and then TPDC on YouTube, which is TP Dance Creations, also on YouTube. So you can find our episodes in 4 places. So there's no excuse. Make sure, again, that you're sharing them with people that would be interested. The more you share, the more we get the word out. And we can help people better that way. So thank you for doing that in advance.
And you can get it to your inbox. Fill out the form, the link.
Fill out that form. I've linked it on all the chats. Make sure you click that link to sign up and get the episodes emailed to you. It's really important and you'll love it.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, I think we have come to homework here, Bri. Yes, Bri and I are going to give you homework.
Yeah, we are. You're going to catch up on all of our episodes. It's very simple. You're going to catch up on seasons 1 and 2. Make sure that you're familiar with Beyond the Steps so that you're ready to go for our first guest next week. And yeah, you can do that on any of the platforms we just listed.
Yep, absolutely. And if you have a topic that you want to hear about this season that you did not get to drop in the chat or that we haven't talked about today, please DM us, TP Dance Creations or Apollo Performance. Also, you can email us. I'm tpdc at melissamcdaniel360.com. And Bri, if they want to email you with the topic, what email address do you want them to use?
You can do info at apolloperformance.com.
Awesome. I'm gonna add another homework piece. Take the Steps initiative. That was the impetus of this entire show. So please take that. I'm dropping that in the chat as well. And then make sure that you go to YPad and check them out using code Apollo25 to get 25% off of any of the courses that they have there. So make sure you do that as well. That's a lot of homework, but pick one, pick two, pick them all. Whatever it is. Exactly. It's important homework and it's helpful homework. It's not busy work. So make sure you get that done. It's doable. It is.
So I want to thank all of, Melissa and I do this show every week, but we have entire team behind us that helps us get all of this ready. So our team at TP Dance Creations and Apollo Performance, thank you so much for all you do to make us be able to do this every week. Melissa, love doing this with you. Thank you for being on every week and your commitment to the show. Again, you guys want to stay, just to recap, you want to stay tuned for that podcast release in January. The Muse by Apollo, every single episode is going to be turned into a blog going forward. So you can find those on the Muse by Apollo blog. I'm going to put that in the chats right now as well. So you can get episode recaps that way. And let's see, we're coming back for Apollo. Big news. I know Harley asked this earlier. For those of you that have been waiting, maybe that you don't know, Apollo aired on Shark Tank on April 1st, and took us on the ride of our lives. We've been in back order ever since. We're extremely grateful and humbled for all of the incredible response that we've had to the show. We re-aired in July, so needless to say, we have been back ordered ever since. Like within 15 minutes of airing, we sold out, and we are finally this month coming back in stock. Woo! I feel like we need like the cheering sound effect. It's such a big deal. Like can't even say yay. We have been praying and waiting and just working so hard to get to this moment, and we're going to be back in stock for the holidays. Who knows how fast we'll stay in stock with the holidays, but that's another day. But you will see everything coming back in stock by probably end of this month, beginning of November. And so if you've been waiting, you're going to get your order. If you're ordering, we're going to be able to ship in better time frames, normal time frames. So things are looking up. We're excited and can't wait for this next journey, this next piece of our journey. So stay tuned.
Yes. Exciting things for Apollo. I am so excited for you. And you have to go back and watch that Shark Tank episode because they were awesome.
Yeah, they gave us a nice little edit. We're very, very happy.
A nice little edit.
Well, you're in there for an hour and they take you down to 8 minutes. You have no idea what it's going to
look like. Yeah.
And so, the whole, just the anxiety of like, what is going to happen on this episode? You have no idea. But they gave us it was a solid 8-minute episode. It was great.
They looked amazing.
Check that out.
They killed it.
Thank you. Season 13, episode 18. If you have Hulu or, you can watch it on Prime, whatever, but Shark Tank, ABC. Melissa, what's going on with TPDC this season?
Oh my gosh, we're up to the same old. We are teaching, we are judging, we are taking kids competition. 2 new things that we have coming up super soon. We are supporting Dancers Against Cancer here in Charlotte. So there is a black tie gala affair to raise money for Dancers Against Cancer next weekend. So we will be out there to make sure that we are raising money and supporting our studios who support it, as well as our breast cancer survivors who are in the dance industry. Also, I'll be serving on the board this year for the Dance Artists Alliance of Charlotte, which is an organization that is designed to build a community among dancers here in the Charlotte area. So stay tuned for some of the things that are coming along with that. But that's what we're doing here.
Awesome. Congrats. That's fun. You have to send me a picture of whatever gown you're deciding to wear.
Yes. To this gown. I'll probably buy one because you know me. The ones that I have in my closet.
I love seeing all your looks. You guys got good looks when you post pictures. So join us next week. Next Friday, we are back here live with our first guest of season 3, Jan Dunn from the Bridge Dance Project. We're going to be breaking down why dance medicine and science is so important for us to pay attention to, not only in dance, but just medicine and science in general, and how that applies to performance athletes. Jan is going to break that down for us, what's new in dance medicine and science. We're going to hear about that next week. So join us right back here Friday at 2 p.m. In the meantime, you're getting caught up on all of our past episodes. And until then, we hope you continue your journey beyond the steps We'll see you next week. Everybody have a wonderful weekend.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Okay, I'm going to stop.